Alright, what's up guys? Thumbs up if you're good. I saw 4 thumbs up, so we're good. Alright, so today we are ending our series on uncertainty, dealing with uncertainty, how to deal with uncertainty. Today we're talking about something very important, which is that we go through uncertainty, but it's better if we go through it together. And so I'm going to ask you guys, I'm going to poll you guys, some activities that you think are better alone or better together. So let's talk about the first one. How about dancing? Better alone, better together? Alone. When you dance alone, you kind of creep people out sometimes. All right, let's talk about, what about going to the movies? Going to the movies. Is that better together or better alone? Together. I think together probably won that one. I personally love going to movies by myself. If it's a scary movie, it's especially really interesting because most of the time I go like in the middle of the day on a Friday. I'm like the only one in there besides some old guy in the back coughing the whole time. But when I'm in there, it gets like even more terrifying. So watching movies, what about going out to eat? Going out to eat. Better alone or better with someone together? Yeah. It kind of depends. Like if you are confident enough to sit at a table alone at a restaurant and eat by yourself, then more power to you. What about playing sports? Playing sports. Sometimes it's good to be on a team. Sometimes people like doing it alone. You might like getting hit by a dodgeball. I don't know. Well, what about this one? What about getting in a car accident 300 miles away from your home on an empty highway with a dead cell phone in the middle of the summer? I may or may not have experienced this one. I can tell from experience, having people with you is a lot better. So that one was a little intense, and probably that won't happen very often. But today we're going to see that going through uncertainty is not something that we're supposed to do alone. That we are better together. We are better together. And so we're going to talk about 2 different kinds of communities that you guys live in. There's a fake community, and then there's a real community. Let's start by talking about the fake community. A lot of us feel like we're part of a community. It's like, hey, yeah, people hang out with me, I belong. But it actually could be a fake community. There's an old axiom that says this: whoever isolates himself seeks his own desire. He breaks out against all sound judgment. So basically what that says is you're a fool if you isolate yourself. That's no way to go through life. That community is something that we all long for. So some of us trick ourselves into thinking that we actually have community, when really we're just surrounding ourselves with idiots, or we're surrounding ourselves with fake people, or we're surrounding ourselves with the wrong people. So let's talk about some of those dumb people right now. I love talking about dumb people. Fake community. Or number 1, acquaintances. We all have them, but unfortunately, most of the time they're just not your real friends. Like you can't necessarily count on them in times of need. You might pass them when you're going to a class and be like, hey, like there was this girl that I really liked freshman year of high school, and I walked by her all the time, and we always met eye contact. We always said, hey, but nothing really ever happened because she was just an acquaintance. I never really took the time to get to know her. But it's important to have these kinds of people, but they're not our friends. You know, one semester, sophomore year, I had the 4th hour lunch, and so at my school we had 2 different hour lunches in high school. You can either have 3rd hour lunch, which is what most of my friends had all the time, or you can have 4th hour lunch. And I had 4th hour lunch one semester, and it was awkward and horrible because there was only one guy that I knew, and he was kind of more of an acquaintance. And so we just had awkward conversations after awkward conversations every single day because we just didn't want to eat alone. So we just kind of sat next to each other and talked. And it was awkward. But, you know, we never really talked about anything deep. Now, I know that I couldn't count on him to help me out in times of need and stuff like that. So he was an acquaintance. And those people come and go. But they are a fake community. Another type of person in a fake community is based around popularity. Now, somewhere in grade school, this thing kicks in where, like for whatever reason, we're looking for, like, who is the best out of all of us. And all of a sudden, we as kids choose, like, this is the popular people, and these are not the popular people. And so when you're popular, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have friends. That means that like people look at you. You might have like a couple of people that are your friends, but popularity is fleeting. I mean, how many of the people around you, you guys right now, they actually know you? Like think about social media. If you have Instagram or if you have any other kind of social media, how many of your followers or how many people that you follow are actually your friends? Probably not as many as you have. You probably do have a good chunk that maybe go to the school or your family, your friends from other schools or whatever, but ultimately they're probably not like close friends. Like you may know things about them, but you don't actually know them. Like for me, I know a lot about Steven Spielberg. Like he's one of my favorite directors. He's done lots of feel-good movies, lots of war movies. E.T., he did Raiders of the Lost Ark, tons of movies. And I could talk about him for a long time, but if I met him like walking down a street, I can't be like, yo, Steven Spielberg, what's up? Because he doesn't know who I am. I can't just like start a conversation with him. Because I know a lot about him, but I don't necessarily like know him as a person. So there's a difference. We can't seek meaning in popularity. Like being popular is not our goal. We can't seek meaning there because there's no close relationships in popularity. So acquaintances, popularity, and then lastly, the yes crew. These are the people that we put around ourselves to make ourselves feel good. And sometimes that is a good situation, but other times it's actually a detriment to us. It actually prevents us from growing. Because if we just surround ourselves by people who always say yes to us or who always think that we're awesome, then that's not a real community. Like you need friends to call you out when you're doing something dumb. You need friends to correct you. If everybody around you just agrees with you all the time, that says something about the people that you hang out with, and that says something about you, is that you are all about you, and you're not about your friends. If everybody just likes you all the time, and if everybody is just all around you saying yes, yes, yes all the time, then your community is really about you, and it's not a real community. That is a fake community. Growing up, I was a musician. I'm still a musician. I still perform, do performances, but something that I learned growing up, whether it was singing or playing instruments, is that the worst thing that somebody can say to you as a musician is, oh, good job. Like if you're a musician or you're a singer and anybody's ever told you, hey, good job, they're not really helping you because you need that constructive criticism to grow. Good job is like, oh yeah, whatever. Like I saw the thing that you did, it's over with. And I was a choir teacher here this time last year, and I told a lot of you guys good job. And some of the times I meant it, sometimes I didn't, I don't know. So I'm just being honest. Just being honest with you guys. That saying yes to somebody is not the same as helping them. So for musicians and other people, good job is like what kills your career. You need motivation. You need changes that you can make to yourself. And so when you face change or uncertainty, you need a real community, not a fake one. So let's talk about what a real community actually is. There's a guy named Norman Cousins, and he said this. He said, the eternal quest of the individual human being is to shatter his loneliness. So what he's saying right there is that when we are born, we know that we are supposed to live life with other people. Like when we're a baby, we know that we're longing for something called love, but we don't really understand what love is. We know that we love it when our mom or dads hold us. We know we love it when they give us food. We know that the parents are doing that, but we don't know that they do it out of love. But ultimately, we are built to want and rely on other people. So community is so important for us. Isolation is not the answer. So here's what a community actually is supposed to do for you. Number one is a community provides help. Have you guys ever heard two is better than one? Yeah, it helps in relationships that you have two people doing a task, because it's you doing all the work. That's a one-sided relationship, and that's not going to go very well. Two are better than one. We work together. You have help. That same semester where I had the awkward conversations with the guy that I had lunch with, I also had this really advanced math class that for whatever reason my advisor put me in because they thought that I was super smart at math, even though I'm not. I'm just kind of okay at math. I had decent grades in math, but they're like, hey, why don't you try this class? Advanced trigonometry, why don't you go to that? I'm like, I don't know what trig is. I don't know what that is. And so I went. First day, I already knew, I am in the wrong place. They start talking about graphs and weird words I've never heard before, and like weird symbols above numbers, and I'm like, okay, this is wrong. But I found out that the whole class was actually like group work, and I just happened to sit by like 3 of the smartest girls I've ever met in my entire life. And so all of our tests were group tests, all of our projects were group projects, so they actually got to help me, and I got to learn a little bit about math as we went along. A lot of the times they were honestly just giving me the answers, but some of the times it actually helped me, and I ended up passing the class with a B. They all got an A, but I got a B, and I'm like, that's fine. I'm never taking an advanced math class again. And then I took like one more math class after that, and then one more in college, and I haven't taken a math class in like 15 years, so yay for no math for 15 years. But math taught me a lot. I'm just not about that advanced math. But at that time, I needed that group. I needed those people to provide help for me. So when one falls, there's others to lift you up. Another thing that real community does is it gives comfort. And this is something that all of us need. Because sometimes as friends, we don't know like exactly what to say when our friends are hurting. Like I was one of those friends where I didn't know exactly what to say, but I knew that I would be there for you. Like if you want to go hang out, if you want to get some food, like I know what your favorite kind of food is. I know the favorite kinds of things that you like to do. I know how to cheer you up. Like I'm that kind of friend. So a real community gives that kind of comfort. There's a reason why it's called comfort food. It's because it's good in those times where we need it. Now, it's not about necessarily the food that brings you comfort. It's about the people that you have around you. Because ultimately, we can't find comfort in things. Like, ultimately, you're going to get to the bottom of the ice cream and it's going to be gone. But your friend, hopefully, will still be there. So, they are the ones that comfort you. And then lastly, protection. Like a tribe, like, it defends its own. When we have protection, it helps us move forward in this life. Because there's certain stages that we're not exactly ready for yet in life. But when you have the right people around you, they protect you from certain things. And they defend you. And they fight for you. Like, isn't it great to have friends that fight for you and that would defend you? Like, that's a cool feeling. I know right now, I don't know if you guys follow sports, but there's a lot of trades and crazy things happening, especially in football right now. And I'm a big football fan, and so I love watching all the off-season trading and all this crazy stuff. But at the same time, I think it is kind of funny how a lot of sports fans get super mad when the player that they've loved their whole life goes to another team all of a sudden. They're like, oh, I hate him now because he doesn't wear yellow, he wears black, so I hate him now. Like, that's essentially what's happening in sports. Like, he's still playing football, he's just not wearing the colors that you like, but at the same time, that fanaticism is so exciting because you're willing to defend your players. And I'm a diehard Arizona Cardinals fan because I believe that you root for the home team, no matter how bad that team is. And I acknowledge that last year was one of the most horrible years that I can remember. But I still root for my team, and I would still defend my team. And we can talk about the Cardinals after this if you want. But ultimately, we want those people around us. We want the people that are going to get kind of crazy and get kind of crazy for you. So where do we find this? Ultimately, I cannot answer that question for you because you have to be the one to find it. You can find it on sports teams. You can find it in theater, drama, dance, band, choir, your church, maybe your own family. You can find community in all those places, but you have to be the one to take that step. In times of uncertainty, you need to have those people around you. So especially at this time in your life, it's so important to look out for those people. So find the people who will be in it with you. In uncertain times, be certain of who will be there for you. Peace out.